For today's reading lesson, we are going to be reading the first part of our very last fairy tale that we will be studying. Today's fairy tale is called Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a poor widow who had an only son named Jack and a cow named Milky White. All they had to live on was the milk the cow gave every morning, which they carried to the market and sold. But one morning, Milky White gave no milk. "Oh, Jack," said the poor widow, wringing her hands, "we have nothing to eat and no money. We must sell poor Milky White." "Cheer up, Mother," said Jack. "It's market day today. I'll sell Milky White and we'll be better off. You'll see." So Jack took the cow and started down the road. He had not gone far when he met an unfamiliar old man. The old man said, "Good morning, Jack." "Good morning to you too," said Jack, as he wondered how the old man knew his name. "Well, Jack, where are you off to?" said the man. "I'm going to the market to sell our cow there." "Oh, yes, you look like just the sort of fellow who's selling a cow," said the old man. "Now I wonder," he asked Jack, "do you know how many beans make 5? Jack thought this was a strange question, but he answered him anyway. 2 beans in each hand and 1 bean in the mouth, that makes 5. "Right you are," said the old man. And then, pulling something out of his pocket, he said, "And here they are." He held out 5 very unusual beans. "Now, because you're such a smart fellow," he said to Jack, "I will trade you these beans for your cow." "Well, now," said Jack, "that would be a nice trade for you." "Ah, but you don't know what kind of beans these are," said the man. "If you plant them tonight, then by morning they will grow right up to the sky." "Really?" said Jack, who was beginning to get a little interested. "Yes," said the man, "and if it doesn't turn out to be true, then you can have your cow back." "All right then," said Jack. He gave the man the cow, took the beans, and went home. Now, do you think Jack should have made that trade? I don't either. That does not seem like a fair trade at all. "Jack, are you back already?" said his mother. "I see you sold Milky White. How much did you get for her?" "Mother, you'll never guess," said Jack. "Oh, you good boy," said his mother. "Did you get 5 or 10, maybe even, no, it can't be, 20? Now, what do you think the mother is talking about? That's right. I don't think she's talking about how many beans he got. I think she's talking about how much money he got. "I told you that you couldn't guess," said Jack. Then, reaching into his pocket, he said, "See here, Mother, I got 5 beans. You plant them, and then overnight they—" "What?" cried his mother. "Beans? You gave away my Milky White for beans? How could you be such a fool? Off to bed with you, and no supper. And for your precious beans, here they go out the window." Now, she sent him to bed without supper, and she took the beans and she threw them out the window. Now she says, "As for your precious beans." Now, precious means valuable, important, worth a lot. Do you think she actually meant precious? Right. She didn't actually mean they were worth a lot. So Jack went to his little attic room without dinner, where he flopped down and finally fell asleep. When he woke up, the room looked funny. The sun was shining into part of it, but the rest was dark and shady. Why do you think it was dark and shady in part of his room? He jumped up and went to the window. And what do you think he saw? Why, the beans his mother had thrown out the window had landed in the garden, and overnight they had sprung up into an enormous beanstalk, which went right up until it reached the sky. So the old man had been telling the truth. The beanstalk grew right up to Jack's window. All he had to do was step out onto it and then start climbing it like a ladder. So Jack climbed, and he climbed and he climbed until at last he reached the sky. And when he got there, he saw a long, straight road. He followed the road until he came to a great, big, tall house. And on the doorstep, there was a great, big, tall woman. "Good morning, ma'am," said Jack, quite politely. "Could you be so kind as to give me some breakfast?" "Oh, so you want breakfast?" said the great big tall woman. "Well, you'll be breakfast if you don't get out of here. My husband is a fierce giant, and there's nothing he likes better than a nice cooked boy on buttered toast." "Oh, man. You'd better get going, for he'll be coming soon." "Oh, please, ma'am," said Jack. "I haven't eaten since yesterday, really and truly." Well, the giant's wife wasn't so bad after all. She took Jack into the kitchen and gave him a chunk of bread and cheese and a jug of milk. But Jack hadn't half finished these when thump, 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 the whole house began to tremble with the noise of someone coming. Someone big.